Tell me more about, the COVID time, and from the perspective of love and relationships, is there like, was that a tipping point? And, the before COVID and after COVID world, did COVID actually change, what relationships and love really look like?
It made people realize the importance of relationship, is how I would put it. It made people value the absence of something. When you say social distancing, when you say there are these many resources, these many hospitals, these many beds, these many oxygen cylinders are left,
Right.
how do you ration this? And then you feel that the doors are closing, us versus rest of the world. It's my society, I have to protect my family.
Right. Right.
And the fact that so many days we have to be alone, at least people who are single, they have to be on their own. When that happened, I think people still, so many of us were fortunate enough to have our finances right. I'm not talking about the tier 3. I'm just speaking for the tier 3 was at a whole different miserable level of problem, to an extent that poor fellows were actually walking on roads, on the highways to reach Bihar and Kolkata, everywhere. I'm just speaking about perhaps the society that I live in. Bunch of people felt this element of loneliness lot more. Somehow they felt that it's a human need to socialize. Nobody even thought about this.
Right.
It's to an extent that you say you may die and people are still struggling to hold themselves back, that no, I need human connection. That was a validation of how deeply this is our need. Okay? And people who did not have families, I know, who look for that love element, and because you are suddenly not going to office, those 9 hours you are with yourself, and then again a whole night of being by you need that connection. So many people landed up getting their pets during this time, because they felt, at least as we were speaking, that at least if not a human being, at least I need to hug somebody, a life,
Right.
and perhaps which is more likely to stay loyal to me. That connection, the felt that this is a need, was a lot more evident during COVID time. Also, people losing their spouses, partners to COVID was also a realization of a whole different kind. And the fact that we are all together in this, there was one common thread. I understand what you're going through because I am also going through something similar. When you make people experience this, nobody had, I mean, more people have experienced world wars. There were 2 world wars before the first pandemic in the early next century.
The Spanish flu. Right. Yeah.
So in 100 years, we had at least seen 2 world wars, but the same generation would not have seen this pandemic.
Agreed.
It was unprecedented, happening for the very first time. And how do you deal with that? Relationship, love made you feel their importance a lot more. And so many people felt that once this is over, I at least want to be with somebody, because this element of loneliness, this can't go for a long while.
Right.
People opened up to this idea. One of the reasons why I named my startup as Let's Socialize is because of the element of social distancing was the norm. We were coming out of social distancing, and this is 2022 when I
Right.
was going with this idea that,
Right.
okay, can we just do something of that sort? And my idea was that not to even limit it to relationship. It could be open for anybody,
Right.
as long as you want a human connection. And the idea of Let's Socialize, naming it so, was one reason I named it so. But yeah, COVID was a great reminder of how much human lives matter to another human.
Agreed. And of course, we're going to talk about, Let's Socialize, because I think as a phenomena that's amazing, and the traction that you're getting. And I was, on your Insta handle yesterday, and I was seeing that you even have meetups that are happening for 50s and 60-year-olds, maybe even older people than that, just getting together. Coming back to the pandemic piece, and one other thought comes to mind as well. I mean, one, obviously, you mentioned from the single perspective, okay, locked out at home, looking at connection. There was another set of people, and of course, I would say that people in our circles as well that I've known, who when they realize that husband and wife are like locked in and just spending time, with each other, there's a lot of things that came to the surface which normally wouldn't have. When the world was open, okay, let's say husband and wife had a problem with each other, wife was busy traveling, husband was busy traveling, there was that out they would get away.
Yeah.
But when they were locked in for 3-4 months, in the same house, then it was like an explosion. And I have another friend who's a lawyer and divorce lawyer at that, and she's like, boss, the number of divorce cases that are coming up now, like that's during the pandemic or right after, even that was crazy, right?
Yeah, no, it is good that you brought this point. Yes, it has been, which is also a great reminder that a life can't be all about relationship. You need your personal space. This is the reason you need a partner, but you also need your friends.
Right.
Sometimes you need this world so that you can completely come and exhaust yourself. This is happening in my personal life.
Right.
When all of this is taken away, it's an ecosystem that we need. We need a society to live in.
Right.
We need our personal world. And then there is a world which is just you. It's not even your partner who knows all your thoughts which are going on in your mind. The sanity has to be there.
Yeah.
And all of this defines that sanity. Your health, your wealth, the kind of relationships that you are a part of.
Yeah.
Extreme of anything is bad. Either way. So it's an act of balance. When you take one thing and you expose the other person to the extreme. So once you expose this person to this extreme, and also some of them would have done it really well when you have the partner who is complementing you. This is the test of true compatibility.
Right.
There are people who would have, for 10 such stories, I will hear there are 3 such stories wherein the couple said, this is a problem, we are going to navigate it together.
And the relationship flourished.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My belief in relationships have always been, this is the litmus test. There are more chances of people drifting apart when
I'm
the
sure you
money...
love this particular clip. If you want to watch the full episode, click on the link below and watch the whole episode.